Hello everybody. If you want to read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Short story 503, The Silent Train, Part 1, Intermediate. The rain hammered against the train windows, blurring the dark countryside outside. Emma clutched her coat tightly, her heart racing. She was alone in the carriage, or so she thought. The old train creaked and swayed, its dim lights flickering with every jolt. She glanced at her watch, 11:47 p.m. The last train to London was late, and the next station was miles away. Emma, a young journalist, had been chasing a story about a missing scientist, Dr. Harold Vance. Her editor had warned her to drop it, but Emma couldn't. Vance had worked on a secret government project, and rumours swirled about a dangerous invention. Her only clue was a cryptic note she'd found in his abandoned office. "Trust no one. The truth is on the midnight train." Now here she was on that very train. The air felt heavy, and the faint smell of oil and metal filled her nose. She checked her phone. No signal. The train's rhythm was hypnotic, but something felt wrong. A shadow moved at the far end of the carriage. Emma froze. Was someone there? She stood, her legs shaky, and called out, "Hello?" Her voice echoed, unanswered. The train lurched, throwing her back into her seat. The lights flickered again, plunging the carriage into the darkness for a moment. When they returned, a man sat across from her. He hadn't been there before. He was thin, with sharp cheekbones and cold grey eyes. His black coat was damp from the rain, and he held a small leather case. "You're Emma, aren't you?" he said, his voice low and calm, almost too calm. "How do you know my name?" Emma's mouth went dry. Her hands slipped into her bag, searching for her keys, anything to use as a weapon. "You're asking dangerous questions," he said, leaning forward. "About Dr. Vance. You should stop." Emma's heart pounded. "Who are you?" she demanded, trying to sound braver than she felt. The man smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Someone who knows what's at stake. Vance's work. It's bigger than you can imagine. Hand over the note." Emma's fingers tightened around her bag. The note was her only lead. I don't have it," she lied. The man's smile vanished. He opened his case, revealing a syringe filled with a clear liquid. "Don't make this hard," he said. "Give me the note, or you won't leave this train." Panic surged through Emma. The train was slowing, its brakes screeching. She glanced at the window, nothing but darkness outside. No one would hear her scream. She had to think fast. "Okay," she said, pretending to rummage in her bag. Instead, she gripped her teeth tightly and lunged, aiming for his face. The man was faster. He grabbed her wrist, twisting it until she gasped in pain. The keys clattered to the floor. "Wrong choice," he hissed, raising the syringe. Suddenly the train jolted violently, throwing them both off balance. The lights went out completely. In the darkness, Emma scrambled away, crawling under a seat. Her heart thundered as she heard the man's footsteps. "You can't hide!" he whispered. The train stopped. Silence fell, broken only by the rain. Emma held her breath, listening. Then a loud thud echoed from the carriage door. Someone or something was trying to get in. The man cursed under his breath, and his footsteps moved toward the door. Emma seized her chance. She bolted from under the seat, grabbed her bag, and ran toward the opposite end of the carriage. The emergency exit was there. She just had to reach it. Her hands shook as she fumbled with the lever. Behind her, the man shouted, "Stop!" The door flew open and cold air rushed in. Emma jumped onto the wet grass, her legs buckling. She didn't look back. She ran into the stormy night, the note still in her bag, and the truth still out there, waiting. Look out for part 2. Next. Vocabulary notes. Clutched. Verb, past tense of clutch. Definition: to hold something tightly, often because of fear, anxiety, or strong desire to keep it. Example: Emma clutched her coat tightly, her heart racing. Context explanation. In the story, Emma holds her coat tightly due to fear, showing her anxiety in the tense situation on the train. New example sentence. She clutched her phone nervously as she waited for the doctor's call. Similar words. Gripped. To hold something firmly, often with strength or determination. E.g., he gripped the steering wheel during the storm. Clasped. To hold tightly, often with hands or arms, sometimes with affection or urgency. E.g., she clasped her necklace to keep it safe. Grasped. To seize or hold firmly, often with a sense of understanding or control. E.g., he grasped the rope to climb the wall. Creaked. Verb, past tense of creak. Definition: to make a harsh, squeaking sound, often due to old or rusty objects moving. Example: the old train creaked and swayed, its dim lights flickering with every jolt. Context explanation. The train's creaking adds to the eerie atmosphere, suggesting it is old and unstable, heightening the tension. New example sentence. The wooden floor creaked under his heavy footsteps in the quiet house. Similar words. Squeaked. A high-pitched sound, often from smaller or less heavy objects, e.g. the door squeaked as she opened it slowly. Groaned. A deeper low sound, often from something large or under strain, e.g. the old bridge groaned under the truck's weight. Screeched. A loud piercing sound, often associated with metal or sudden movement, e.g. the car's brakes screeched as it stopped. Flickering. Verb, present participle, used as an adjective in the story. Definition: to shine or burn unsteadily, moving quickly between bright and dim, often describing lights or flames. Example: the old train creaked and swayed, its dim lights flickering with every jolt. Context explanation. The flickering lights create a sense of unease, as the unreliable lighting makes the train feel unsafe and mysterious. New example sentence. The candle was flickering in the dark room, casting strange shadows on the walls. Similar words. Flashing. To shine brightly and suddenly, often in bursts, e.g. the lighthouse was flashing to warn ships. Glimmering. To shine faintly or softly, often with a pleasant or magical effect, e.g. stars were glimmering in the night sky. Twinkling. To shine with small intermittent sparks of light, often associated with stars or something cheerful, e.g. her eyes were twinkling with excitement. Cryptic. Adjective. Definition: having a secret or hidden meaning, mysterious or difficult to understand. Example: her only clue was a cryptic note she'd found in his abandoned office. Trust no one, the truth is on the midnight train. Context explanation. The note's cryptic nature makes it intriguing and dangerous, as its meaning is unclear, pushing Emma to investigate further. New example sentence. He left a cryptic message on her phone, hinting at a secret meeting. Similar words. Mysterious. Something strange or unknown, often intriguing, e.g. the mysterious stranger disappeared into the fog. Enigmatic. Difficult to interpret or understand, often about a person or their behaviour, e.g. her enigmatic smile made him curious. Ambiguous. Having more than one possible meaning, often unclear, e.g. his ambiguous reply left her confused. Lunged. Verb, past tense of lunge. Definition: to make a sudden, forceful movement towards something or someone, often to attack or grab. Example, instead, she gripped her keys tightly and lunged, aiming for his face. Context explanation. Emma's lunge shows her desperate attempt to defend herself against a threatening man, adding to the story's intensity. New example sentence. The dog lunged at the stranger, barking loudly. Similar words. Leaped, leapt, to jump suddenly, often with energy or excitement, e.g., she leapt to catch the falling book. Sprang, to move quickly and suddenly, often with a sense of surprise, e.g., he sprang from his chair when he heard the news. Charged, to rush forward aggressively, often in attack, e.g., the bull charged at the red cloth. Hissed, verb, past tense of hiss. Definition, to make a sharp, sibilant sound, like a snake, often used to describe angry or threatening speech. Example, wrong choice, he hissed, raising the syringe. Context explanation. The man's hissing voice emphasizes his menace and anger, making the moment more frightening for Emma. New example sentence. Be quiet, she hissed at her noisy friend during the movie. Similar words. Whispered, to speak softly, often secretly or gently, e.g., he whispered the password to his friend. Growled, to speak in a low, angry tone like an animal, e.g., the guard growled at the intruder to leave. Snarled, to speak aggressively with a twisted expression, often showing anger, e.g., she snarled a warning at the rude customer. Story written by Grok 3 AI. Image created by Grok 3 AI. To read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you.